Welcome everyone to the Dave Knows Wrestling live stream. I'm your host, David Lee. And welcome. It has been a week. Let's see how everything is going with you guys, the Know It All Nation. And let's catch up on this week in wrestling. Hopefully everything is going good with you. And let's get into things. Yo, Flacco Go Crazy. What up, Know It All Nation? You're up first, Arthur, my man. Hey, Vinny. Naheem, yo. Everyone can hear me okay, right? The microphone's a little further than normal. Bro, you still haven't talked about Wrestling at the Chase. If you look up Wrestling to Chase, is the very first episode of Hulk Hogan, Vince McMahon, and what's his face, Mean Gene Okerlund. What would you like me to talk about? Hey, what's up, Jenna? No, I have not heard Kanye's new album. What's up, Joe Wine? Big thumbs up. Thank you for the big thumbs up. And a happy Rusev Day unto you, my brother. What's up, Nathan Norman? You could choose any song to be your theme for WrestleMania. What would you choose? In the foolishness that I have done, I have always used Method Man. I have always used Method Man, Bring the Pain. B-Team. B-Team's cool. Let's talk about J.R. Smith's heel turn. I want to see a rock bottom reversed into an RKO. Nice. Still waiting for honest. Miss Jenna. Have you heard Enzo's new song? As much as I could tolerate. I mean, look. I know he's trying something here, but man, it's a rough watch. Or it's rough listen. But hey, express yourself however you feel the need to, as long as it's, decent. When you look it up, Wrestling at the Chase, St. Louis, is the very first episode. It's where you bought all territories and they all came together. Oh, okay. Best wrestling finishing move of all time. Stunner sharpshooter for me. Razor's Edge got a good chance too. I would go for the Offspring one, you bet. That's an interesting one. I saw the whole Evans show do this. What is your nightmare card? Oh, you mean the worst possible card ever? Wow, that's amazing. Did you hear Enzo's? Yeah, no, I did. Oh, believe me, I heard as much as I could stomach. Hey, what's up, IR Monkey? JR on... Okay, have not played Fortnite. I've got a review of Enzo's song coming out. Go, Jenna. Please do that. Definitely everyone check it out when she does have that up. Yeah, Enzo's an interesting one. Whose new song? Oh, you mean... Oh, yeah, that's right. Real One. Sorry, not Enzo Amore. It's Real One now. Okay, you got to catch Jim Cornette critiquing it while watching it for the first time. Oh, man, that ought to be interesting. What do you think of Cody versus Nick? Aldis at All In. That's good. I'm not gonna lie, a big part of me was holding out for the idea of CM Punk, but what are you gonna do? I guess, the verdict's still not out yet. But no, I mean, that should be good. I mean, of course it's gonna be good. Cody, everything Cody touches has turned to gold. And keep in mind how much I'm stressing how much I like Cody Rhodes come Monday. That's all I'm gonna throw it out there. Just remember how much I'm mentioning that I think Cody Rhodes is brilliant and doing excellent work. Keep that in mind come Monday. Anyway, but big upset in jail for beating that on the super kick is the best. In what circumstance, Vinny? You're crazy. It's wrestling. A kick should not be a finisher in wrestling. Or a punch. I always like the Rubik's Cube. All right. What's up, Sean Logan? What's up? And thank you guys for the thumbs up. We're up to 6. Thank you so much. Best finisher ever is the pump handle running power slam bulldog style. Oh, okay. All right, there you go. Hey, you're right on time, Terrell. Don't sweat it. I'm serious. Go to YouTube and put in Wrestling at the Chase. Put in WWE is the very first episode. I don't really understand what you're saying. Was AW? Okay. That would me and gotcha. Omega versus Page. Kenny Omega, the real gold standard. Cody Rhodes, the real gold standard. Okay. I like Enzo and don't care who knows. Hey, no problem with liking Enzo. None whatsoever. But as a rapper, just awful. Maybe D-Bone. Maybe that's what is happening on some Monday. Possibly. Maybe. Who knows? Who's better, Cody or Cody Rhodes? It's a good question. I say Cody for sure. Did you hear Dave about Roman blew off a fan who was just a kid? Then Roman said it on Twitter that he was a grown man who bugged him feeding his kids. What do you think about that, Dave? Not surprised. Look, I mean, the thing about wrestler treating fans, like I know I don't really talk about how wrestlers, but that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. There's a good thing about wrestlers treating fans. A lot of people have, especially with the Sasha Banks video that came out. The thing is, when it comes to wrestlers and treatment of fans, I kind of don't talk about that a whole lot on this channel. And the reason why is because there are so many mixed reactions about it. And I feel like you can't get an accurate statement because there are always going to be this pocket of fans that say, this guy is a terrible person in real life. I tried to talk to him, and he treated me like garbage. And then there will be another pocket of fans who will say who say about the same wrestler the complete opposite, saying, oh, that guy was great. He treated me so kindly. You know, he's really respectful. You know, it's the same thing like, you know, people, when it comes to guys like that I've met, I have one reaction towards how they were to me, and other people on this channel will say, oh, no, that's not true. I had a completely different reaction. And it just depends on, like, you catch people in different moods. You know, maybe Roman was in a bad day that way. And believe me, you know I don't defend Roman Reigns. I am in no position to ever defend Roman Reigns because I don't like the guy as a main event champion or main event contender. I'm not a big fan of his, but I'll be the first to say that, okay, if he dismissed a fan or wasn't great to a fan, okay, but everyone has their moments, and I get it, you know. And I'm not trying to take the fan's word over the guys because the wrestler, of course, is going to downplay the situation. He has to. The fan himself, who's making that statement in the first place, is going to say, you know, the inflammatory thing that he's saying. And that's just how it is, especially if you worked in any kind of business where you had to deal with customers. And that's what we fans are to wrestlers. We are their customers. There are always going to be customer complaints. It's just something that happens. Customers exaggerate, you know, negatives. And the sad part is something that was taught to me in my, you know, life of working, is that for every 10 things that go wrong, there will be like one report for every 10 things that go wrong. But for every 100 things that go nice, only one person will say anything. So that's the thing. People are going to report negative stuff about customer interactions. They're going to complain more than they're going to compliment. So I can't judge that really because there might be a button. Since nothing bad happened, no one mentions anything. You know, Roman Reigns could be nice to a billion fans. But if one feels slighted by him, that one will speak up. And even if that's the only one he's ever done. And so, once again, I can't stress so much. I don't want to defend Roman Reigns. I'm just pointing that out. So, I kind of don't talk about fan reactions or who's good to fans or who's bad. And Sasha Banks, like I said, a lot of people wanted me to talk about how Sasha Banks treats fans. And, look, I remember the Stalker's comment, and I remember how she is with fans. And I get that. But then I've also heard complete opposite reactions, too, about personal interactions. So, I just steer clear of it because yeah, it might have something to do with it, it might not, but, you know, it's hard for me to lock down without ever actually meeting them. Macho Man vs. Enzo, who had the better rap album? I talked about that the other day, and I think the answer, when the Enzo song came out, and I think it's Macho. But that's a good question, Nathan Norman. I think it's Macho, but you could very easily twist my arm and convince me. Sadly, guys, you don't want to admit it, but as far as I'm concerned, Macho, Enzo, the real answer is John Cena. Best rap album out of those three options. What up, Joshua A. and the Know It All Nation? How you doing, Double A? Refuse to judge a wrestler by one account. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Jenna, I'm same thing. At least not like Sasha, who I heard blows off her friend. See, that's what I think. I've heard that, but I've heard other stories too. I've heard Sasha. There is a coworker of mine whose 5-year-old daughter dressed up as Sasha Banks for Halloween, and Sasha Banks replied to her on Twitter and talked about how she liked the costume. So, like, here's the thing. Like, I know that I hear that. I'm not saying that those, and I'm not trying to accuse anyone of saying that they're lying about their experience with Sasha Banks. I just think both sides of the tale could be true. So I personally know of a little girl who was very, very happy with her interaction with Sasha Banks. So I'm just saying, yeah, I get those stories, but there is the possibility that all these stories are happening. And which is the bigger side? Are there more nice examples or more mean examples? I don't know, because I'm not counting all of them. And because of that, I just steer clear of it. Macho was like Tupac compared, and so I think that's all right. Good. It's not just me who thought Macho had the better one. NGK in real life, if I met Shawn Michaels in real life, would I be polite to him? No, I wouldn't want to talk to him. I wouldn't want to shake his hand. I wouldn't want to say anything, because I'll put it this way. Here's the worst case scenario. I don't want to meet him. I have zero interest in meeting him. And here's the thing: if he feeds into everything I already think about him, it's just going to end badly. But if he ends up trying to like win me over and ends up being an okay guy, then that's going to be even worse, because then I'm going to be pissed off, and I don't want that to happen either. You know, I'm perfectly happy with my current content. It's like how I say about Eric Bischoff. When you listen to Eric Bischoff, he gets you to nod your head and go, "Oh, I understand," and you kind of agree with Eric Bischoff. And then when you walk away, you're like, "Wait a minute." At least that is for me. At least that's the way it is for me. Like when Bischoff is talking, I kind of start going, "Yeah." And I don't think that will happen with Shawn Michaels. I'm just saying I don't want to like him, so I'm not going to. You know, I'll be perfectly honest. I'm not there because I don't want to be a friend. I don't want to be his friend. So, on Rap 2, check out. Oh yeah, well, I don't know if we're using. Hey Ryan Armstrong, I don't know if can rap is the proper term for what Hogan can do, but okay. Cena at a better rap album, hands down. Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, Gil, that's a hear you got in your car. I met Rhino. He was so nice. Yeah. All right, cool. Okay, you dislike Bischoff? I don't hate Bischoff, but I disagree with a lot of his decisions that he made. And that's from a managerial, technical standpoint. And I understand. I'm not in the business. You know, I don't claim to have all the answers, but there are a lot of things that I saw that I didn't necessarily agree with how he handled them. You know, Starrcade 1997, and I understand that I also have him to thank for a lot of things I do like about WCW. But Starrcade 1997, bringing in Brett and the whole thing, we're trying to do the screw job with Hogan again, but it was ridiculous. Sting should have just beaten Hogan at Starrcade 1997. End of story. If they wanted to do some shenanigans where it was like the fast count crap, they could have done that for the Hogan-Sting rematch. You know, they could have held off on that until Super Brawl or you know, whatever. They could have done something else. That was not the route to go. Dave, have you ever been at a show and I have one recognize you? Dave, have you ever been at a show and have someone recognize you? Yes. Step up to you in a good or bad way, and if so, how did you handle it? Oh, no, actually, surprisingly, it has happened. It happened for me at, oh, and by the way, that reminds me, sorry, I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but I'm falling a little behind. But good question. That reminds me, I will be at Capitol Wrestling tomorrow in Hoboken, New Jersey. Capitol Wrestling, Hoboken, New Jersey, tomorrow. I'm actually going to be, I'm going to be a backstage interviewer. I'm going to be doing that. So if you are there, Capitol Wrestling, Hoboken, New Jersey, right across the river from New York City, New York. If you are there, check it out. I'll be there. And yes, I have been recognized at previous shows. I've been to a previous Capitol Wrestling show as well as Frontier, the Pro Wrestling Syndicate I've been at, and I've been recognized. And yeah, no, I have been recognized at shows, and it is pretty cool. I'm just shocked whenever someone's like, "Hey, do you have a YouTube channel?" I'm like, "Yes." And then they're like, "Oh yeah, I've seen your, you know," and sometimes they say like, "Oh, I saw your video on the Dudley Boys," or "I saw your video on, you know, whatever," or like, "I saw your Art of War video," or something like that. And I'm like, "Yeah." I spent a good chunk of it shocked because I was like, you recognize me? But it happens. Here at the school that I teach at, I actually had somebody recognize me. So, a potential student came up and recognized me. And so I thought that was kind of crazy. No, it's not Nakamura's old theme at all, actually. Who killed WCW? Russo didn't help, but Turner, AOL, a lot of things. But yeah. Do you know Jules, the Southwest skirt lifter? No, I do not. But yeah, so that actually happened. So Capital Wrestling tomorrow night, if you are around, Hoboken, New Jersey, check it out. I will be there. Gian Page, Harry Flynn, Dave. Seems you're gonna be in New Jersey. Will you cut a promo on Grim? Cause he lives there. What do you want me to say about Grim? I feel they should ban Vince Russo from pro wrestling. I feel like Vince Russo got himself banned from pro wrestling. Hey, Oliver, what up, train? Who killed WCW? Long list. Yeah, that's the thing. Bischoff. Yeah, and that's just one thing I have an issue with Bischoff with. But when he talks about it, why he did what he did, you kind of go, okay, that makes sense. He's like, well, I thought it would be a way to bring bread in, and I want to err on the side of Hogan, and, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, and the way he words it. And then you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Mike Murch, what's up? Oh, and also, short show today, guys. I'm not looking to do normal length. I'm planning on keeping it a little bit shorter. Don't know if I actually will, but that's the goal. Got a lot of stuff going on today that I got to take care of, especially in preparation for tomorrow's show. I made a design for AJ Styles, and he actually retweeted craziness. Yeah, cool. Awesome. I think Heyman is cool, but the original ECW ended was a shame. Yeah, the way it ended was a shame, absolutely. Shirt lifter, not skirt lifter. Oh, okay, my bad. Whoops. Could Finn Balor be a solid Universal Champion if he were to reclaim the title? I absolutely think he can. Oh, from What Culture? No, I'll be honest, I bowed out of What Culture a long time ago when they when the Cultaholics dudes left. I bowed out of What Culture because that was enough for me. They were the only reason I was watching. Oh, Freddie Mega, you're allowed to say that as long as you also admit that you're wrong. Will you be on? Yes, Josh. Me and Albert totally plan on being on Monday. We just weren't this Monday because of Memorial Day. We totally forgot about that. Eric Bischoff, and definitely, but yeah, we definitely plan on it. Eric Bischoff must be everything you ask him, he doesn't remember. Conveniently, I feel Vince Russo should go into the reality TV and kill. That'd be nice. Am I the only one here who absolutely detests Russo? No, you're not, Zach Rowe. A lot of people. I've had episodes on how much I dislike Vince Russo. He choking. Do you think Ring of Honor will be as big as WWE? No, I really don't. It'd be nice, but no. That's no company in history has ever been as big as WWE. No matter how much you like other companies, it doesn't change the fact that no company has ever generated this revenue. Even in its prime, WCW did not. No matter how big a certain company was in a particular area of the world, nothing has the global expanse that WWE does. Nobody is generating as much money as WWE does. No one is even close. So thinking that any company could get that close is a tall order. Do you think Daniel Bryan will leave WWE after his current contract runs out? I think he's testing the waters to see if they're going to be a place he still wants to work in, or if he's better suited elsewhere. He's called. Scrap a rap a do-be-do. I like that name. It's hard for to say, but it's a good name. What do you think of All In title for title? I think it's good. I mean, it's real good. Simon got a nasty cut. What did you do? I plead the fifth. Vince Russo should just stay out of everything. That's fair too. I mean, I think Vince Russo does belong in TV. I just don't think he belongs in wrestling. And I think that's kind of the plus and negative about him when it comes to the pro wrestling world. I think he did introduce a lot of TV elements that people probably should know about because a lot of wrestling was handled by wrestling people. Yes, I understand there are guys like Dick Ebersol and other people who were in the wrestling business. I'm not trying to say there weren't, but wrestling business being run by wrestling people don't necessarily understand the TV side of the equation. And Because of that, I think that's what Russo brought to the table. But as I've also said before, Russo's not the best TV producer or anything like that. So if you just needed someone to introduce from the TV side of things, there's plenty of people you could get. But with that being said, Vince Russo is a low fish on totem pole. Fine, he can work in TV. He understands how it works enough. At least I think he does. So fine. But he doesn't understand wrestling. That's why he has no business in wrestling. I hate Russo so much, bro. If I ever met him, out for Owen. All right. Did you see the Undertaker guy on Instagram? Yeah, I think that's an odd thing, but okay. How do you feel about the ends of wrestling? I think it's terrible. Do you think there could be a WWE Civil War of Triple H and Shane? Storyline-wise, that'd be awesome. In reality, no, I don't think so. Shane's already proven that he's willing to walk away if need be. WCW wasn't set up to win the war. They were the Confederates. If the Confederates were only Virginia and Florida. Wow. I mean, that's a tough call, because, I mean, I did a whole video about the war, the Monday Night Wars, so, you know, there you go. Who is better, Hulk Hogan? Who has better hair, Hulk Hogan or Paul Heyman? Hogan? Yeah, why don't people understand how big WWE is? I don't know. I really don't. You know, because I get that a lot when I talk about how much, like the Money Draw episode was a huge example. Because I would talk about how Stone Cold Steve Austin is the biggest star in the WWF. And a lot of people would bring up, hey, you don't understand how big the Von Erichs were in Texas. Look, I get that they were big in Texas. I'm not saying they weren't. And I'm not discounting how much money they made in Texas. I'm just saying it comparatively. You can't combine the amount of money someone draws on a particular territory versus the nation versus the world. It doesn't make any sense. You can't do it that way. Clearly, the bigger area is going to generate more money. Worst match of 2018 so far. Wow, there's definitely something that... Roman Reigns Samoa Joe. I was like, I think I was at one. Yeah, no, I was. Nathan, I wish. I don't live in the area that gets wrestling shows, and if I'm a long way from the main cities for wrestling shows, unfortunately. Too bad, Jenna. Could be a lot of fun. Yeah, I look at their NBC dealer to make $2.4 billion in the next five years. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Billion. It's a lot. What do you think of Nia's heel turn? Just more WWE confusion booking? Jenna, what time? I think also the fact that she got booed at Backlash by some Riley weird people in the crowd probably didn't help the idea that they know she's not getting over as a face. Those people at Backlash are booing her. For shame, those people. Dig her on Instagram. I might leave this and for 10. Yeah, I know, man. Like, it's just weird. Yeah, why is Taker having this? I don't know, but you know, it's only okay if it's like the Luke Harper thing where, you know, it's every day is some weird cryptic stuff. It's Tuesday, you know what that means, you know, then it's fine. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, yes, that is true, but Samoa Joe Roman Reigns is worse. Note the common denominator here. If Von Erichs were so big. And I'm not trying to badmouth the Von Erichs. That's not what I'm trying to say. I think the Von Erichs are absolutely great. I did a video about them. I'm just pointing it out. Dave, what would you do if you were in an event? No, I am not shaking his hand. He would if he apologized to me about a bunch of things that as a fan saw, then that'd be one thing. Because I think he's a big part of what ruined the business for a period of time. What really brought the business down. There was a backlash at Backlash. Who would have thought? Ah, there, that better. Dude, Von Erichs were huge. Just go to. I know they were huge. I'm not arguing that. See, this is what I mean. You can't make any statements without people getting. Harry Flynn, you always tell me to read your last comments. Do you sneak them in on purpose when I'm not paying attention? I think you, because then I look for like an idiot, and then when I can't find it, okay, hold on. Simon Miller got, I did see that. I responded to that already. And if that's not your last comment, I'm sorry, but I did see that. Do you think Jem Crocker Promotion had just stayed in the 7 or 8 states popular? Would they still be around today? It's really hard because if you're only going to do 7 or 8 states by today with the internet and how things are expanding, you can't hang like that. So, just like what actually happened, you're going to get priced out of the market. You're going to get beaten to the chase. You have to grow in a specific direction. And that's how it is. Don't worry, Dave. I have nothing against your thoughts. Same here. I mean, I have nothing against your thoughts. That's what I meant. Hey, just insane. What if me and Brian Zane are boys? There's no competition between me and Wrestling with Regret. Chill on that. Me and Zane are tight. We're not tight, but no, never mind. I'm definitely not wording things great today. I realized that was the worst. That didn't sound right after I said it. Do you think Jeff Hardy will get one last world title run? No, I don't think so. I'm not against it personally, but, maybe. I wonder that myself. It's tough to say, but I highly doubt it. Just look at the other territories. Dude, Justin Wrestling, Justin is awesome. Zane is the man. Zane is the man. And Zane is a huge part of why I'm where I am now. Like, I can't give him enough credit. So, Brian Zane, Wrestling with Regret, thank you. And thank you for all the thumbs up, by the way. We're up to 15. Thank you, guys. Are you going to make another cameo on Wrestling with Regret? Maybe? Hey, DOA Hitman. Did you Kurt Angle tested him versus... What? Did you Kurt Angle tested him versus... Oh, you're going to hate me for this, but Undertaker also needs to retire, and I don't care anymore. After WrestleMania 30, I don't want to say dead to me because it's the Undertaker. But Undertaker hasn't been Undertaker to me since WrestleMania 30, and I don't care anymore. Like I haven't cared in a very long time. And Undertaker being the real Undertaker to me hasn't been the same to me since the American Badass thing. So it's like I got real Undertaker ended with the American Badass to me. I still really like the Undertaker at that point. It wasn't the same, but I still had an Undertaker with me. I'm like, okay, this is a pretty good Undertaker. And then after WrestleMania 30, I don't care anymore. And here's my thing. Okay, now, I haven't really talked about this or haven't mentioned it, but my thing about the Undertaker WrestleMania 30 is the thing that bothered me about it, and it's not just the streak, it's about the fact of what it represented. And for me, Undertaker, from what I gathered or from what I was told, never really cared about the WrestleMania streak. It wasn't a big deal to him. But it was to us. It was to a lot of fans. And he's the Undertaker. If he said he didn't want to lose to Brock Lesnar, well, he ain't going to lose to Brock Lesnar. If he's going to say I ain't showing, then he ain't showing. He kind of gets to call the shots. And it's the fact that he didn't care about the streak or how his fans felt about the streak enough to keep it going. Even if he doesn't care for himself, he should have said, this means a lot to the fans. I'm going to say, no, Vince, you are wrong. This is not going to happen. And then, and because of that, because it's like, okay, now when we see where you're at, you're going to listen to Vince McMahon enough that that's how you feel. Okay. And I understand it. I'm not a do as you're told kind of guy. When people talk about the screw job, no, I don't say do what you're told. If something's stupid, it's stupid. Period. You don't have to listen to it. Because even if you don't care about it for yourself, you have fans. And the fans care. And what's, greatest amount of good for the greatest amount of people. Act like my manager cut a promo on Brock, say he's got Nikki. Now he want the man, dude, the Nikki Bella thing. And plus, I don't know what's going on, but my voice is all scratchy, in case you guys haven't noticed. Cut a promo on Brock, say he got Nikki. Say he got Nikki? And now he want the gold. You are here. I don't understand, Harry. Oh, and by the way, I hope you're having fun without school. What Undertaker will always be my favorite of all time? Well, no, I'm not saying, my past memories of The Undertaker are ruined. It doesn't work like that. I'm just saying, Undertaker from this point on, from WrestleMania 30 onward, hasn't been The Undertaker to me. I don't really care. It's like, okay, and I've seen him live, multiple times since then. It's amazing. But I still, I saw him in Dallas against Shane, and I saw him against Brock at SummerSlam in Brooklyn. I'm just pointing out that it's like, okay, you're here now, so whether you stay here, you retire, it don't make no difference to me. Go back in the 90s? No, not at all. Not talking about drawing or his attitude, but overall in ring skills. And Mike says, no, I disagree at all. Because, look, in the 90s, for sure, on the microphone, you have Austin. You have The Rock. And there's also a heel Hogan in WCW. So even in a different company. Mike skills, no way. In-ring ability, I've talked about this plenty of times. Some people like his ring work. I don't. I look at it that, is he athletic? Yes. But I don't think his in-ring ability is all that good. A lot of it is like cross-body blocks or jumping or elbows and kicks. It's a lot of strikes or jump or things that facilitate jumping at people. And unlike moonsaults or 450s or something that's a little more impressive than just jumping at a target, that's really all he did. And then he plays dead for half the match, kips up, and then does his finisher for the win. And then people call it dramatic and exciting because they just can't wait to it. It's the same story over and over again to me. That's all he's ever done. Well, occasionally jumping at people, maybe a wrestling move or two, maybe if you're lucky, and then a kick. And either he's going to win or he's going to lose. And that's it. It's a boring, lackluster ring work match. And I think that strategy that people have tried to emulate since have kind of hurt careers. Like Dolph Ziggler, it's hurt his career, his emulation of Shawn Michaels' playbook, I think. So no, I don't like it. I think it's dumb. And I'm not talking about his politics. I'm not talking about anything but his ring work. I don't like it. You like it? Fine. I don't like it. I don't care. It's what it is. Kenny Omega. Okay, good. Austin is way better than Shawn Michaels on the microphone. So is Dark. Yeah, exactly, D-Bone. Could not agree more. And Undertaker, too, not for nothing. I understand that he's not a typical promo, but his character work, Undertaker, is amazing. It's The Undertaker. Yeah. Undertaker, when he returned to Dead Man, was my favorite after New Generation Taker. They had Lesnar break the streak because they just lost the network. I enjoyed Undertaker versus Russo Cats match. I don't care what the reason they had the streak end. It was stupid. It was a dumb thing. Because my thing is, Undertaker is... You can put up an argument for this, but I say The Undertaker is the greatest character of all time. There has never been, and possibly never will be, a character that was so good and so perfect ever other than The Undertaker. That was the deal. How do you celebrate the greatest of all time? Titles? Plenty of titles. Hall of Fame? Plenty of Hall of Fames. But a WrestleMania undefeated streak that lasts over 20 years and never gets broken? That's a pretty reward. Now, some people are going to say, well, he still has 21, but if he was undefeated in WrestleMania for over 2 decades and that was it, it was an honor no one could ever take away. Hey, what's up, Andy Orford? He can really wrestle. Have you seen his early AEW matches before the Rockers? Okay, you want to talk... Again, it's like, okay, look. Yes, I know what you're talking about, but see, the AWA stuff drives me crazy because the AWA stuff to me is proof that Jannetty is better than him by far. That's the thing that drives me crazy. So when people talk about the AWA, yeah, I have no problem talking about the AWA, but if... AWA to me... For little things like sequencing and ring placement, that is a big part of the actual business, like knowing where to be in the right points of time. And the fact that he could do it, apparently even, drugged out of his mind, good for him, because that's not easy. I'll give you that. He does that well, but it's still, it's just a lot of jumping. It's not a lot of chain. And plus, he doesn't understand amateur wrestling, and I'm a big amateur wrestling guy, and I get it. That's not for everybody. But that's the thing that kills me about Dolph Ziggler. It's ruining his potential. He doesn't have a lot of chain. He never did. He can chain well as long as he has a good partner to chain with, a good opponent. But if he does it on his own, if you give him someone who's not a chain monkey, he ain't chaining. And that is included in the AWA before the Rockers. Outside of, who else do you consider overrated, Joshua? Triple H by far. Also, Triple H, very overrated. Bill Goldberg, overrated. Roman Reigns, overrated. Jeff Jarrett, not a fan of. But he didn't really get a lot of play, but I think he's slightly overrated. And Ultimate Warrior. John Cena is. I'm not going to deny that he's not. I think people are too harsh on Cena, so I don't bring him up because I think people give him too much flack. Yeah, Cena definitely got, 16 world titles. No, does not deserve that many. Not even close. But people give Cena unnecessary flack. And Yeah. Okay, Zach. All right, there you go. All right, thank you. Any streak was a big mistake. Agreed, Warhawk Rambo. So my brain just... Look, it's how good is... How bad, I think, is a more accurate statement. Zigzag is for rolling, not for finishing. Yeah, I like that. IR Monkey, I like that a lot. I think that's a good point. Undertaker definitely never should have lost, but I think his intentions were good. I think Taker and Vince really thought it was good for business. What the... With the guy who never shows up? Passing the torch to a guy who's already an older talent? Nay, nay, nay. Careful, Dave. You're going to have Dana Laurie after you. Oh, no. If he lost it to Bray Wyatt, then I could see that. Yeah, but Brock never around, and the mess that well, you almost got me on the light street. It's all right. The thing is, we look at the current state of wrestling right now. Everyone's talking about how, or a lot of people talking about how Brock is boring. He phones it in. It's just 2 moves, suplex, F5. He's never around. Well, where do you think we got into this mess from? We got into this mess because of the Undertaker streak. That's what propelled Brock into this. The WrestleMania before he lost to Triple H, Brock was not this commodity. They picked Brock out of the clear blue sky. They picked Brock even though they knew he wasn't wrestling often. He had a very limited deal. And they should have seen this coming. They haven't learned from their mistakes, and they're not going to. I mean, good intentions, if you say that they thought this was financially good, I don't know if this counts as good decisions because, and even if their intentions were good, I don't care because it just shows how stupid they are. Dave, is Rollins going to beat Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam? I don't know. Is that longer than CM Punk's record? Because then maybe. But I don't think Rollins is going to be the guy to get him. Cena has grown, but I hated him back in the day. And I understand that. So I was perfectly fine seeing Undertaker kill him at Mania. I was perfectly fine, even though I think people are too harsh on Cena. I was perfectly fine with that too. It should have happened that way. Look, Cena brought out that people, like, Cena recently mentioned that people should complain about their place on the card because this is what you do. He reinvigorated someone who needed it, and he's absolutely right. And Cena played his part well, and he laid down. Absolutely. Of course, he hasn't always done that, but he did the right thing at WrestleMania. Cena absolutely did. I stopped watching WWE back in 2005. I understand that too, and I understand that too, Zach Rowe. I get it if you turned off wrestling because of John Cena. I totally get it. Indies and New Japan Mexico. I get you. I totally get it. Last run. I'm not for or against that. My problem is I think they don't have anywhere else to go because when the Brothers Destruction went against the Wyatts, I thought that was fair, and since then, nothing else. Dave, you are... No, I'm not mad at you, big dog. I'm not mad at you at all, even though you clearly like Shawn Michaels and Roman Reigns, but no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I love seeing Sting and Taker's career. It would have been nice if Sting and Taker went at it, but yeah, what are you going to do? Do you think WWE should build the promotion around Rollins? No, I think that's a good... I'll take it over nothing else. I'll take it over what they're currently doing, but no, I don't think Rollins can hold the entire promotion by himself. I think that's a tall order. I think I think he is improved on the mic. I don't think he has the verbal skills to really get over, to carry a company. I think he's over, but I don't think he's carried a company over. He's a great talent. I'm all about Seth Rollins. I think he's really, really good. But carrying the biggest company in the world, hard to do. And I hate to admit it, but the thing about it is you can carry the company with substandard wrestling skills. You need to have personality more than anything else. I hate to say it, but that's the way it is. Should it be that way? No, but that's how it is. Dave, who would you have chosen to end the Taker streak? No one. And if you say, well, you have to. No, I don't. No one. Ever. Giving the time period, like I said, I would have understood it more if it was Bray Wyatt. But still, no one. What I wanted was, after the Undertaker retires, every once in a while, WrestleMania, maybe he show up. Or, maybe some current heel would run their mouth. And then the lights would go out. And then when they come up, Undertaker standing over them, and the guy's laid out in the ring, and then the streak number just goes up by 1. And then I would say, after Undertaker passes away in real life, eventually, when the lights go, eventually, same thing, some bad guy would just run his mouth, lights will go off, come back on, the guy's laid out, and then the streak number just goes up by 1, and it's just something that continues until the end of time. That's how I would have done it. You know, there's this idea in wrestling that a lot of people have where everything in wrestling has to be done to move forward, to progress, and pass on to someone else. And believe me, I understand that passing on the torch is important, but I don't think that I don't think that's true. I don't think everybody needs to go out losing. That's stupid. I did a video about 10 big names, and there were plenty more who didn't lose their last match. So the idea that you have to lose your last match is stupid. And I also pointed out that people talk about passing on the torch. Well, Brett went from being the top face, and then we led to the Stone Cold's era. Stone Cold never got to beat Brett one-on-one. We never saw that passing the torch, and it still happened because you don't need to do it. The idea that you need to pass the torch is stupid. It helps. Don't get me wrong. It helps, and I would like it if it were to happen, but it is not a necessity, and it is not an excuse to saying, this is why we made blah, blah, blah lose. There are some guys who can go out a winner. There are some things that can happen to be good, and you don't need to tear it down just to make someone else look good. Not every great idea and every creation needs to be crapped on just so you can keep everything evolving. That's not how it works. Nice, Grim Tim Tim. I like it. Thank you. Yeah, I watched that video, Dave. Thank you, IR Monkey. Roman versus Brock WrestleMania 35. I hope not. I mean, how many main events do I have to sit through where I really contemplate walking out and beating the traffic because Roman Reigns is there? How many times? Yes, Nathan Norman. Correct. What are your thoughts on WWE SmackDown movement? I think it'll be really good for SmackDown. Allegedly, now, I don't know, the exact details of the plan have not all been ironed out yet, but from my understanding, they are going to still keep it live. I heard they might shift SmackDown to 3 hours. I think it will be good that if they get the promotion that they deserve, more promotion through Fox, through other sports and everything like that, advertising WWE. But my biggest thing is I want SmackDown to be as kept far away from from Raw as possible. If the idea is they are on totally different, and I know that they are separated, but the more separate they are, the better. You know, like NXT. NXT lives in a vacuum that's far away from things, and I think that kind of is beneficial for them. And while I know the NXT is not a moneymaker, it's still, I'm just saying, I think the further you can keep things apart, the better. Your opinion, who is currently the best in-ring performer in the WWE? I like Cesaro. That was my pick for a very long time. I think it still is, but, it is tentative just because of the way it is. But I really like Cesaro. I think he's great at tag team work, and I think he's great as a singles wrestler. I think he's amazing. So, speaking with passion and fire, making his voice... my voice is going, and I don't know why. It's just something I've noticed right now as we've gone online. Agree. William Regal was the greatest, most underrated English wrestler of all time. Really, you say? Mark Rocco, Marty Jones. I think nobody gives him credit. People heard of William Regal. Mark Rocco and Marty Jones, nobody talks about. Some people will say, hey, Black Tiger, man, Black Tiger was pretty cool. And not knowing that it was Mark Rocco. Rollerball Rocco, Marty Jones, most underrated British wrestlers of all time. That's my opinion. You know you want to party with Roman Reigns. I have no problem with Roman Reigns as a person. I just don't like him in the main event. Chris Benoit and Dynamite Kid, yes, they are two wrestlers that don't even get the recognition Regal gets, but he's up there. Daniel Bryan is going to New Japan. I think that's an odd fit. I don't think Strong Style is going to agree with the Mushhead. It's up there. Okay. Dr. Jenna advice up there. In certain situations, sure, putting over the next generation, it's not always necessary and it's not always logical. Yes, Jenna, exactly my point, Andy. Do you think Braun Strowman will win Money in the Bank? I hope he wins something other than the Greatest Royal Rumble. I want him to win a belt. That's all I care about. My thing is, I don't think he'll win, but I also don't think he needs to. Because Braun's a guy who doesn't need to have that briefcase smart cash in order to get over or to understand and win the belt. Like when Edge cashed in the first time, you're like, okay, the opportunist idea. it was a good thing because he was never at the dance before, and so by putting him in the main event, he won it, but he won it in an interesting way or a clever way, so that justified it a little bit more. Braun, if he just has a match and then runs somebody over and wins, you don't need that. You don't question it. And I'm not the guy who says, oh, the belt, you let people win who need the push. I'm not trying to say that. I'm just saying from a logic standpoint of the win, of the story, who needs it, not from who needs the push. I want to make that clear. Because I know a lot of people think that you only put the belt on the guy who needs the push, not the guy who's over. That's stupid. I don't agree with that. I mean, from a storyline perspective, you can insert Braun whenever you need him to take that belt, and if he takes it, no one questions it. Same thing with Kane and The Undertaker. Like when Kane won the title, you stick him in the main event scene right away, nobody questions it. But then you have a guy who, like, and I'll be, it's like CM Punk or whatever, can he get to the dance? You give, as he deserves it for sure, but to introduce him to the scene, and I know that's not how, I know that's not like, the CM Punk, the big thing for CM Punk. I'm not questioning, I'm just saying, I'm trying to think of other guys that really benefited from having that title, of having that Money in the Bank cash in, and you're like, okay, now you've been brought to the dance. Because I think those are the people who get the best benefit. Kind of like the King of the Ring. I think when you win the King of the Ring, I think, you should be a little more coming up. Okay, B team, 16 titles, and you have to ask who did he beat and how did he beat them. I know 2 JBL and I know 1. What? Money in the Bank. Andy, I'll get into that more on the Money in the Bank predictions because because we got a lot of we got some time and I want to see how they build the show for. Like off the top of my head, Joe is what I've been hearing. I will say this much: I do think it's a SmackDown guy. I got to check see how they're building the story, but I do think it's a SmackDown guy because Raw was so successful at Survivor Series. So because of that, I think a SmackDown guy's going to win because I think it's how do you keep it even? Did Hogan need to lose to Brett? No, I don't think so either. I would have liked to have seen it, but I don't think he needed to. No. All right, guys, my voice is kind of acting up. I don't know what's going on here. So I'm going to get going. Let me just try to answer some last-minute questions. Do you think that they will ever make a Bullet Club type stable in yeah, I think they're going to try. But yeah, we haven't had a really solid stable, bad guy stable in a while. The problem I have with Braun having a title is now the heck do you get it off him without killing the monster gimmick? Triple threat. Same way they got it off of Brock. I love Braun, but I'm nervous about putting. I'm nervous that he's going to be the new Kane. Does he like him as a champion? I think Braun having the belt, as long as they don't screw it up, and I don't mean do it right. They just have to not screw it up. We could get a return to the way champions used to be. What is my perfect SummerSlam card for a year? Braun winning it? Braun taking off of Brock. See, Braun versus Brock, I'm not even sure because that's a tough call. Because they've done it already, and it's been anticlimactic. What does WWE need to make it mainstream again? They need another superstar like Austin, The Rock, or Hogan. They really need a mouthpiece. They need someone engaging and entertaining. Would you do a live wrestling fantasy draft, 35-person roster, then do a live pay-per-view? I guess so. As long as Roman Reigns is with real fit. Nah, I've been kind of getting away from those things. Pineapple juice. Oh, that's what you want to say. I hate pineapple juice. His voice issues real fast. All right. I've been kind of getting away from that, but we could do real or fake. Let me see. Soundtrack will Money Bank have since the old one is still? I don't know. The soundtrack. I don't know anything about current music. Let's see, what can we do? I've been trying to get away from the fake, real fake, because it's been confusing, and it's also been like, so I have been doing real or fake. I did do real or fake once. Let's see, what can we do? Do you think 15, 20 years Roman Reigns will be seen as a legend like The Rock? I think WWE will keep telling people that that he's a legend, and then eventually, yeah, people are going to think so. It's like the Star Wars prequels. There are people who grew up with it, and there are people who are like, oh, those movies are good, even though they're not. No more real, fake, real. See, Arthur says no. Makes me want to do it more. No, I'm kidding. I'll do a real or fake where I'll just ask, is it real or fake? But I also have other stuff to do. I have a ton of editing to do. And there was definitely something I want to talk about. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, let's do a TNA one. So, Austin Aries getting the belt back from Pentagon Jr. This back and forth exchange. Now, it's back and forth exchange. I'm not happy with this. I'm not. I shouldn't throw it out. But is this back and forth? Is changing the titles a good idea or a bad idea? You know, is it too much or is it just too dismissively fake? So. Cast your votes. First to 5 wins. Is it real as in you perfectly buy this back and forth struggle, or is it fake because this is too many titles changing hands and it comes across cheesy? Real or fake? Vote now. First to 5 wins. I think Aries should never have lost the title. Okay. 850. Fake real. The fake. 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 All right. I hope I didn't skew the vote by pointing out my idea out there. I hope I didn't skew the vote. But yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. Yeah, he never should have lost it. Look, don't get me wrong. I had no problem with Pentagon Jr. holding the belt. I have no problem with Austin Aries holding the belt. But I don't like the back and forth. Sometimes you can have a compelling back and forth. Yeah, it does work sometimes. Now ain't the time. Okay. Thank you guys for coming on the show tonight. Thank you for all the thumbs up. 21 thumbs up. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. It was a lot of fun today. A lot of great conversations. You guys were great. Oh, and real quick. So the parkour episode, apparently not everybody's cup of tea. You know, and same thing with the Worm episode on Kayfabe Science. But anyway, just throwing that out there. So watch those videos if you haven't seen it. Wrestling on Parkour as well as Kayfabe Science the Worm. Also check out Dave Knows Comics. If you like my content, go to Dave Knows Comics. Got a brand new show on that channel that's not on the wrestling channel, and that's Critical Mask, where I criticize the critics. Check that out. New series. Also, and one more time, I will be at Capital Wrestling in Hoboken, New Jersey tomorrow. Capital Wrestling. I will be there. So check out Capital Wrestling, and if you see me, say hi, and thank you so much for being here today. And as always, Dave knows.